Kane, it's 1-0. We're fucking down. 13th in the championship. The takeover happened as I said it would. People will be. Oh, when have we got Leeds? Now then, people, and welcome back to the Just Joe Football Show. Sorry, I had to quick. I thought I heard my son then. My son's in bed. Sorry, I was like, oh no, is he woken up? Everyone, I hope you're all doing well. Before we go any further, please do smash a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel as well. I know I keep mentioning it, and I'm going to keep mentioning it. We're now on 24,882, which means we are 118 away from achieving 25k, which would be amazing. So please smash a like, pay your rent, and smash a like on the video. Hello Joe, you sexy ginger man. Thank you very much. Thank you. I like that. I'll take that all day. I'll take that all day. Lucky, I haven't seen you for a bit. Nice. You've been very busy with university and your channel and just life in general. How have you been, first and foremost?
Yeah, I'm all right, mate. A lot of power naps in between things. Yeah, I've been all right, mate. I've been, keeping busy, which is good. Just, at the end of the day, just want to you get home, just want to sleep. Yeah, but to be honest, mate, my channel's been neglected.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah, just some quick reviews that take 10 minutes. That's about it. That's all I've been doing.
Yeah, it is what it is. You've got to put things first, don't you? And I get that, and I think people understand that as well. I've had 2 naps today as well. One intentional, one unintentional.
The intentional ones, isn't it, that get you?
Yeah. I was late putting Harry to sleep, and film was on. Then before you know it, it was the end of Puss in Boots, and I was like, hang on a minute, I've fallen asleep.
Great film.
Yeah. But yeah, there you go. Oliver said, watch your latest video, Lockie.
Cheers, pal.
There you go. That's good to see. Make sure you all go over and check Mr. Ben Locke's channel out, please. Lockie Leeds. It is all there for you to view, as well as all the other fantastic content creators. Gary Paul says, been so long catching your life takes over. Exactly, Gary. Exactly. I totally understand that as well. So don't worry, and thank you for being here anyway, Gary, this evening. Did you? To be honest, mate, I was watching the Sunderland and Leicester game, but I was like, I had a keen eye on Man United because I was hoping they would get beat by Copenhagen, and they didn't. And Harry Maguire scored, and then Onana saved a 97th minute penalty.
Oh, did it?
I know, right? Because I was thinking, they've had these couple of results against Burnley and against Sheffield United. I was like, they think they're back, but they're not because they're terrible teams. And then, anyway. You were watching Sunderland Leicester like myself. Sunderland, how they never scored is beyond me.
Ridiculous, mate. I'm not even, at least not even biased. Cheers, Joshua, lad. Genuinely, that second half, Sunderland were, the last 25 minutes, Sunderland were all over Leicester. Yeah. They had 6 at the back at times. They were, I don't know, we're messaging each other, won't we? Saying, what the hell? Yeah. This it. Look, might have been an off day for them, but they weren't great.
No, I hear
they really weren't.
Hopefully, like I say, we've got them in 2 games' time, bro. So, hopefully we can, as the title says, can we secure 4 wins in a row and continue to win and beat Huddersfield? I think this is the terrible nature of this league as well, and I won't have it said other. Cardiff beat Huddersfield 3-0 tonight, or it was 3-0 at half time.
4, I think.
4, right?
I think so, yeah.
And they're in the top 6, bro. And I remember Cardiff, and I know we drew with them, but we were a different side then. Any game in August, you have to take with a pinch of salt because we were a totally different side. But I remember Sunderland thinking they're so ordinary. So ordinary. Same with Birmingham. And then the spanking Huddersfield 4s and moving into the top 6. I'm like, they're nowhere close to us, man. And this, I don't know, how's this for a take, Lockie? I do not think now Leeds United, and I said this on my preview for Stoke the other day, the pre-record, I said, I don't think Leeds will drop out of the top 3 now at all, hardly. Of course, there might be the odd drop down into 5th, but I think for me now, the gap's just going to increase, and I don't see us dropping down. Is that a wild take?
I think it has to. Look, Leicester weren't great tonight. I thought Sunderland were really good in times. To be fair, they looked quite dangerous just to finish him, but they're winning again. We have to, I think. And I think, like you said, with that result, Cardiff in the top 6. And again, we're looking at that team we played the first game when we were nowhere near the team we are now.
No, yeah.
And obviously, I imagine they've improved as well. We've got to be fair on that. But with the players we have now and the players we didn't have against Cardiff, I mean, we've got 4 or 5 players since then, didn't we? So we have the quality. And again, looking at Leicester today, watching, teams like Southampton, Sunderland will be up there, Middlesbrough, doing well, coming back into it. We definitely 100% have the players. I'm looking at Chris Somerville's performance. I know we'll get into it more. And I'm looking at like wingers in the Championship, and there's levels to it. Even when he's not got the final product, there's absolute levels to it. And we now have to go on a big run. I want a big run for Leeds. I genuinely do. When we play Leicester in a few games, look, at the end of the day, if we say we win going up into that game, if we compete with them and even if the result, if we compete with them for 90 minutes and it's a good game and we could have had chances, I'll be like, right, they're the leaders, they're the runaway leaders, and we're competing every minute with them. I'll take that. So, but there's a way which we can beat them for sure.
Yeah, definitely. It's going to be a good few games, I think, for Leeds United. We play Stoke tomorrow night, obviously, down there. We've then got Huddersfield, and then of course we play Leicester City, and then I think we've got one more game after that before another international break, haven't we? I'll just have a look now. We've got Plymouth at home on the 11th, and then we've got a couple of days off. I don't think it's out of the realms of possibility to potentially get maximum points. I know the Leicester one everyone will be concerned about, of course, and I think on the day of the Leicester game, it'll be a flip of the coin. It'll be whoever takes their chances. I do think there'll be a lot of chances for both sides, and it could go either way. But I think there's a distinct possibility that Leeds United could get maximum points. Famous last words. I don't know how you feel about that.
Yeah, look again, comparing us to Leicester, we both came down. Right? They're winning every game. Some games they don't play so well, and they win. Some games they batter teams. We have to look at that model and go, that needs to be us as well. If we're serious about top 2, that's the model we have to take. In any game, we saw it against Norwich. First half, we were nowhere near good enough. The intensity for me wasn't good enough. We still had big chances. Let's be real.
Loads,
man. The intensity, when they had the ball, we were off it a little bit. But what we did that second half was we changed it around, which is good. We've seen a bit of a switch in formation, some more tactics coming into it. And our big players went, right, or one of them went, all right, I know the assignment. I'll win this for us. And that's what we need in these games when we play the big teams. And even when we play the smaller teams, we need these players to not go with a mindset that, we'll win anyway. Because you won't in this league. Because teams will compete. We have to compete with them and use our quality. And then, in theory, you should win every game you go in. When you're a promoted, relegated team, that's just, you should do that. And Leicester are doing that. That's the difference right now. But we look like we are slowly getting there. Finding ways to win at times, which is good.
No, I have to agree. And like I say, we start with a game, tomorrow against Stoke City, who before the result against Sunderland at the weekend, which was a great result for them. They beat Sunderland 2-1, obviously, at the weekend. Before that, I think they'd lost 5 of 7 games, mate. So we're in a good vein of form before that. But I think the key thing with Stoke City, I said this in my preview, and it was echoed by Daniel Farker, and I think Adam Pope made put the question to Farker about potentially them being in a false position, because they did have a number of players back at the weekend. Not least, I think Vidigal came back. He's their top scorer. They had captain Enda Stevens come back as well. But in total, I think they had like 5 players return back after the international break, and then they go and beat Sunderland. So I don't think it's as easy as folks think. I mean, obviously, I know we've sort of like not got anything on Stoke, but what do you make to Stoke?
We're kind of one of them teams, aren't they? Again, I'm looking at some of the individuals here. Walter Berger, he's a pretty decent player, to be fair. Ben Pearson, we know about. He's been championship for years, hasn't he? Tough competitor. Be intense in there. Again, we got the Vidigal, the top goal scorer. Hoover on right back was pretty decent. not a bad team. Mark Travers in
No.
net, some decent names again, but you're wondering they're on 13 points, something like that. Yeah, 13 points.
I think they are something.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that,
They've only scored 13, which is I think the third lowest in the league.
Yeah.
And we've got the best defensive numbers as well. So you look at that and you think, surely if we just do our job, and again, just be sensible, they're going to see the formula, like what every team's doing. They're starting off well against us and they're trying to get an early goal because that's when you've got most energy, right? We need to step up the early start of the game because we're too passive at the start of games. I think we need to match intensity just for 10, 15 minutes. I don't care about the football, just match intensity and win battles. And we do that and we ride the early wave of these games, especially when Hull are at home as well. Then our quality will slowly come into it, like we saw with Norwich. And that's when we can exploit teams, I think.
Yeah, that's something that Joe mentioned about the way we're starting games. And when I looked at it, I think we conceded 3 goals in the last 3 games away from home in the first 10 minutes.
Yeah.
So it shows that it's a clear plan by the opposition in terms of making sure they press us early doors, get all over us, and we struggle, whether or not it's a concentration thing or anything like that. But I do look at that Norwich, the most recent game in my mind, and we were a little bit all over the shop at the back. I remember Ampadu gave it away in the lead up to their goal that caused the corner, and that's so unlike him. And obviously we know what happened against Southampton and stuff. So we need to ensure that first 10 minutes, like you said, we're on it from minute 1, because that's when the majority of teams are going to come, going to come flying out of us. And I expect something similar from Stoke tomorrow. I think Ryan Mahee as well, he scored for him, and he's just come back from injury as well. I do think it's going to be a totally different proposition than what it probably was pre-international breaks. They weren't in great form. But the thing is with Championship, right, that could just be one of them results, and then they might be shite against us. This is the thing with teams in the Championship. You just can't tell on the day, can you? Like, for me, Huddersfield, they win at the weekend, pretty convincing against QPR. There's no way you then think they're going to get slapped 4 by Cardiff, and that's what I'm talking about. This league, it's so topsy-turvy. It's mad. I mean, even just Southampton, I know they're a good quality, but they'd lost like 5 on the spin before playing us, and then they beat us 3-1, and no one would have predicted that, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it's like when we played Watford. I know they've got a bad away record, but we played them, and we're talking about these individual players. Oh, these guys are good. Yeah. But on the day, we were just a lot better. Do you know what I mean? Because we have better players naturally because we come from the Premier League. We've got a bit of the money, and the recruitment's been good. So we're talking about these players that Stoke have, but you look at what we've got and think they are good players in some areas of the pitch. But we also have Pascal Strauch and Rodon at the back. We have Ampadu in midfield. We have Jorginho Rutter at Somerville up top. So actually, our strengths should outweigh their threats. Yeah. And like I said, defensively, I was looking earlier on Wisecat, some of the stats. In terms of shots against, we're the lowest in the league. Chances created against, lowest in the league. Wow. That's brilliant. That's really good. What's frustrating is that's the case. How come teams keep scoring every chance they have against us? And it's the same in the Bielsa, wasn't it? It was exactly the same. They'd have one shot and it'd go in. So we've just got to be wary of stuff like that. Teams, they will step up against Leeds. Certain teams will. There's a lot of history there, and we have to be ready for that. And we've not been that at the start of games. It's been frustrating actually when we're a bit passive and you're going, what are we doing here? We're letting teams go on to us. Literally, I wouldn't care. Just be aggressive for the first 15. Don't let teams build up. Just be aggressive on corners. Just win everything. Win the second balls. All that boring stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, I do. Yeah, of course.
All the Brexit stuff. Get all the Brexit stuff done early.
Get it done early and keep them out, and then we'll see where we go from there.
Exactly.
Yeah, for sure. Gary says, John, a side note, been watching all your streams and I've noticed the mood change watching Leeds again, the difference from last year, and this is great. Yeah, we're winning games of football. This is the thing. You win games of football, you're happy as a football fan. That's the main thing in it, and it's even better when you can do it playing a certain style and scoring decent goals, and that's the important thing to also add. Because I mean, look, we were even happy under Jesse when we came back against Bournemouth and when we beat Liverpool at Anfield and all that. You get carried away, it's football, but when you actually sit back and then you can go, right, okay, yeah, now we're still shit, but at least at the minute we're good. we're good.
are.
You
We're
know what I
actually
mean?
good. We're a good side in this league. We're doing pretty well. And we've
Yeah.
got some outrageous players.
Yeah, we have, mate. Obviously, we haven't really spoke after the game against Norwich. I mean, who do you pick out from that? Obviously, the obvious one's Somerville. He was phenomenal, weren't he? I think even in the first half, I think sometimes he's too greedy, but him and Rutter in the first half for me look really good.
Yeah, that connection there is excellent.
Yeah.
They're just two young lads that are just enjoying football and they've got the skills to just pass it to one another and no one can get near him. Yeah, Somerville, first half he was a bit. But he did the same things, I think. It just the end product. 2 shots went over, didn't they? Yeah, block shots and all that stuff. But second half, he was unplayable. He really was. And that's the player that he is. He did that for a period in the Premier League, and we're waiting for that end product. And if he can do anything like that for the next 10 games, we'll have a chance of winning every game.
Yeah.
But for me, obviously Chris Somerville was the best. But again, I thought Jorginho solid.
Quality.
He's kind of just becoming normal for him now. Start of the season, it was inconsistent. He played really well, then it'd be a bit bad. Now he's just consistently doing well.
Yeah.
And he's that little skill he did outside where he just 3 of them out of the game in a second. Yeah, I thought he was excellent. I thought Ampadu Kamara a bit quiet, but I think second half they got into it a bit more. Did Ampadu? I thought Strout was good again. Rodon struggled at times, but
so did I. I didn't think Rodon was that good.
I want his best for it. He probably knows he can do better than that. But I think they did play a lot down that left side. They played very high down that left side. Even Johnny Rowe on the right tucked in a lot. Difficult day for him, but he did all right. Strauch again was solid, I thought. Just calmness again, especially in that second half, winning every second ball and just driving it into midfield. And I thought it was really good.
What do you make to the Gray checks? Obviously, us as fans are thinking maybe he needs a rest. Daniel Farke doesn't think so, and I expect him to start. Basically, what he was saying in the presser, he's going to bloody start. He came through a difficult task against Onel Hernandez. He's a top player. I thought I forget the left back now as well, but he was getting high up.
Tricky name, man.
Yeah. It was an
Giannoulis.
Giannoulis, that's it. Greek, I think. Yeah, with a name like that, it must be. But yeah, they did. Like you said, they definitely peppered that side, didn't they? I don't know if it was a ploy. Maybe it was because Gray was young. Maybe they were expecting Ayling or whatever. You just don't know, do you? But they definitely targeted that side. Where do you stand on it? Do you think he needs a rest, or do you just, if he's fit,
I did a video on it today, and I wasn't too sure, but when I think about it, at the end of the day, like I'm talking about technology and all that boring stuff, but the recovery speed of footballers these days is literally 2 days, and they can be fully back. They can be back fully, muscles repaired, everything's fine. Like the technology in football, the
chiropractor,
stuff like that. Like the ice stuff where you put
stuff, right?
they put the legs in the they do all that recovery stuff. They can do all that instantly, whereas back in the day you couldn't. Like that wasn't the technology, so it was hard. That's why there's a lot of injuries. A lot of young lads kind of burnt out. But I think that's dying a bit these days, burning out. I don't think it's going to happen as much. I was looking at some stuff on some young players that have come through the Championship, and again, we talk about Godfrey, Max Aarons. They all played 40 odd games in their season at 17, 18 years old. You got Eze, Elise, obviously Bellingham, Tammy Abraham, all played over 40 games. Between these ages of 17 and 19 in the Championship. I think it's the intensity for me. I think when you're a ball possession side, there's less kind of running, especially for Archie Gray at right back when you've got players in front of you that can do all that line running, and you've got Byron on the other side who bombs up. I think he's protected a lot more. And to the people that, personally, I didn't think he looked that leggy. What I thought, the way they played very high up that side. So I think he was more tired because he had more to do. He had a lot more to do than Sam Byram. I can't remember Sam Byram doing anything in the game.
No,
it was all right. Left. So for me, he was more tired because he had more to do. And I think that was the case for Rodon as well. He was more tired because they were peppering that side. In terms of recovery and is he fit enough to play? All the technology will tell the club that. This isn't Daniel Farke saying he doesn't need a rest. This is the technology, that can literally analyze like any fibre in your muscle. And it shows how kind of prone you are to being injured. And if that's low and his vitals are saying he's all right and his heart rate's not going too high in games and he's not looking like being injured, he'll play him. That's it. And now you're talking about recovery. Sorry, this is all boring. You're talking about the recovery. Literally, an afternoon of recovery can be huge for a footballer, and that's what he's talking about. The 3 o'clock kickoff is fine. If it's an evening and then you're playing on the Saturday in the morning, that's you're missing 8, 9, 10 hours recovery there, which is huge. Which is why you might see a rest between this game and the next one potentially. But I think there's nothing that Daniel Farke has seen that makes him think Archie Gray needs a rest.
Yeah.
Going on the stats from the game as well, I actually had a look. So in terms of numbers comparing to this game and the Bristol one. So in terms of total successful actions, so any tackle he did success, any pass, he had more successful actions in this game in terms of percentages. 66% in this game was successful, whereas in the Bristol game it was 64%. So in terms of what he's doing on the pitch, he was still as effective. He won more duels in this. The only thing that was lower in this was aerial duels. That's the only thing he lost. But in terms of accurate passes, he was 9% higher in this than the Bristol game. So there's stuff like that where you're thinking, so his actual metrics and his stats show that the performance didn't go down. And in actual fact, I think he got better as the game went on.
Yeah, he did. He definitely did.
For a player that we were, and I get the worry. I'm worried he's going to burn out. He's 17, but at this point, right now, I'm trusting the medical and the technology at this point.
Do you think?
Sorry, that was a boring answer.
No, it was a great answer, mate, and it's knowledge that people don't know, and that's great. Obviously, that's your line of work and things you're learning about. So it's great that you can bring that to the table, mate. So don't ever apologise for it. Do you think because he had a tougher game than what we're used to seeing him, that we go, oh, he looks done, he looks leggy, because he had such a tough game? Because if we're being totally honest, he hasn't really. Apart from maybe, I think it was Bell. I think his name was against Bristol City. I thought he eventually got the better of him as well. But do you think maybe there's a case of that? Also, I was thinking about this, and this is probably a different video we'll do later down the line, like a bit of a round the table vibe. But do you think his long term position is centre midfield or fullback? Because it's interesting because England play him at fullback. We've started to play him at fullback now. It makes you wonder.
I'll answer the first bit first about I agree. Norwich put more on that side. With Bristol, it was more or less a 1v1 with Bell all the time, wasn't it? And he got the upper hand. That was his battle. This battle, he had Sarah, who often drifted on the left. The left back had come up. You had Hernandez, who's experienced. That's tough to deal with. At times he seemed a bit like, what do I do in this situation? And he probably was more tired. And because of that, he had more to do, I think. I'd love to see I couldn't find the running stats everywhere, which I wanted to see, but I couldn't find any. But yeah, I think, and what will be interesting on that is, now what's he like after the game? Because Farke has said he's fine, but is he saying that? We don't actually know. But I think for that game, he was fine. I just think he had more to do and maybe he did get more tired. But in terms of his position, I think if I'm talking about the future of England as well, I think centre mid's probably more doable in terms of we have about 4 or 5 right backs who are all up there. You're talking Trent Alexander-Arnold, James. There's a lot of them, and I think. But then you're looking at the Leeds side, you're looking at Luke Ayling, who's on the way out. You're looking at Jed Spence, who's on loan. There's kind of an option there for Archie Gray. Yeah. But it's about a role for him. As a right back, he's very good for England because they allow him to go forward and tuck inside a lot, like in that centre mid role when he needs to be. So if it's that type of role, I think he could do it really well. Centre mid's a hard role to kind of establish in the Premier League. You've got to have a lot of attributes. Yeah. But look, he might grow. You know what I mean? We're talking. There's all these young players I mentioned earlier. We're not complete player at Archie Gray's age, and they've developed and they've grown. And I think he can do it. I genuinely think he could do either.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a bit of a cop out. I think he could.
No. I think, I hear, because like someone mentioned in the presser about the inverted fullback role, a lot of them do it anyway. Do you know? It will be interesting to see what happens with Gray when Spence comes back, because then you'd imagine he drops to the bench.
Yes.
That would be your first thought. I do think Spence won't come straight in. He'll have to play a few subs, but ultimately he's going to end up being the right back.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see if he takes Kamara out, but I can't see that either, because I feel like, Kamara can have quiet spells, but I do like what Kamara can do on the ball at times.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think
In the final third.
In the final third, he's
Yeah,
very good. I hate him in his own box, I can't lie.
Yeah.
On a number of occasions now, he's been at fault for me anyway, personally. People will look to other players because they just have this... I think sometimes it's agenda. I mean, there was a person in the chat earlier, I don't know if he's still here, but he was hammering Melier for both goals, and I'm like, I'm not quite sure, and people will look to Ayling or whatever, but for me, I think, he's good in the opposing box, not so good in our box. Do you know what I mean?
Kamara,
yeah, Kamara, not the one for me. But yeah, maybe it'll be a good thing that he drops to the bench, maybe just for development, maybe even, And we're talking about him getting burnt out. That's going to stop that, isn't it?
Yeah. Like, if I'm being honest, if we have a fully fit squad and Spence comes in and he's fit, I don't think he plays 46 games a season. No. I think we'll be all right. I think we can use him a lot, and I think there will be games where he will start a lot, but he won't be relied on necessarily to play every game. Kind of like, I guess, a Bellingham at Birmingham had to play every game, right? Because, they needed him. But we have a lot of depth. We have strength in depth, so it's kind of good. I think it's fine. And I think Falk might know that in the back of his mind, which is maybe why he's all right with playing him so much, because he knows, once we get a full start, and you're talking about Gruev as well, once he gets up to speed with it and when he gets his chance, he might keep it. He might come in. It might be an injury. He might come in. He might play excellent. He might keep his place. So I think Farker knows that Gray might not be as needed maybe in the future when we've got more players, and he can kind of just be careful with him and take his time with him and let him develop. Because let's be honest, he's played almost every minute.
Yeah,
already.
Every minute.
And that's a lot of football. He'll have learned so much. And you do have to be careful with young lads. You've got to keep watching, keep looking at the records and seeing what the body's saying and stuff like that. Because, look. But for me, good options at the end of the day. Again, and I think we'll see now, Farker changed a lot in that second half in terms of formation. That shows to me trusting the players in more than just what we usually do. So
it definitely shows as well, doesn't it, bro? That because I said he could have easily gone, right, I'm going to put Ampadu at centre back. I'm going to bring on Gruyev to play where Ampadu was, but he didn't. He said to Archie Gray, right, you're going on the right of the back three. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? And he was fine doing that.
And he just went, right, you lot up there. I think Ampadu was kind of in that pivot by himself, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was.
And then it was just the front five who just went, right, you lot, win. That's what we did. And they looked great. And, people criticised Patrick, but him and Nonto came on and it stretched them a lot. Norwich, it made loads of spaces in the middle for us to play with it because of their movement. Look, on the ball, Bamford, he swiped it a few as usual. But in terms of him and Nonto, when they came on, they stretched the play a lot. And it just creates so much spaces for Jorginho and Somerville to run into. And it really helped. That little bit of energy, a little bit of tenacity that came on and just stretched them. And I'm glad that we're seeing that. I'm glad we've been so reliant on individual players the last few years, even under Bielsa in Championship. When players weren't playing well at times, we were waiting for Hernandez. We couldn't afford Hernandez to be dropped. Really, we needed him, didn't we? And now you're looking. Look, if it was the worst thing in the world, Ampadu does get injured, which please don't. But we have options. Gruev might come in and be absolutely solid. At right back, we've had injuries there. Gray's done a job. Pirro gets injured, or Somerville gets injured, we've got Nonto. We've got Dan James, we've got Anthony. So we have options, and it's good. It's a good luxury to have. And Farker's trusting the players now in different formations, which is, in games where we might be losing or we want to go for it, we've got another gear we can go up to now.
Yeah, no, for sure we have. Sorry, I'm just slightly distracted. Someone's just sent me a thing. He's actually a Bournemouth fan. I don't know if you've seen this. Leeds that tweeted it out earlier on. It's had quite a lot of views. Bournemouth fan feels Marsh is the man to step in and revive their fortune. Like, what? Do you watch football? I just don't understand it.
That's Bournemouth's wild, isn't it? I don't know what's going on with Bournemouth.
I mean, they're just copying Leeds United at this point, Lockie. They tried to get Bielsa. They then went and got Iriola. They're getting all our players. Like, look, I have nothing against Bournemouth, me personally, and I know Bournemouth fans, Sam, great lads and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
But I'm glad it's failing. I'm glad Iriola's also flopping. I did say before the season started, I thought they'd do well. They're not. They've not won a game of football. The players that he's got are obviously not able to do what's required of them or his system, because his team last season in La Liga were great, but yeah, they're just not going. I think he's going to get the sack, and I'm here for it, mate, if I'm honest. And Tyler Adams been there, and the mad thing is, these players got away to get out of the Championship, and they're going to go down, and we're going to go. I just think, yeah, it's karma, innit? Like Stacey says in the chat. It's nice to see.
Do you know what's interesting about the Areola stuff as well? Because I likened it to, obviously, he's a lot of inspired by Bielsa's style, isn't it? Yeah. And what I liked about when we played under Bielsa in the Championship, particularly, and even in the Premier, well, not in the Premier League because we didn't have crowds, but in the Championship when we had crowds, a lot of when we were down in games, we relied on pure energy at times to run more than them. When it wasn't really working with the passing, we'll outrun them, and that's hard to do. Respectful of Bournemouth when the crowd isn't crazy. You need a crazy crowd that's going to give you that. And at times where they need it, it might not have that. Yeah. And that's the intensity that they'll be lacking. And Ariola's system, like Bielsa's, relied on intensity. And you don't have any of that, do they? And our players are nowhere to be seen. So the grass isn't always greener.
100%. You've got Uni and Berlin struggling as well, and Aaron. So all these players, it's just brilliant. It's brilliant. I can't lie. I'm enjoying it. We are laughing. As Ron Burgundy says. Back to the game in question, mate. Obviously, Stoke tomorrow night. Do you envisage any changes for Leeds United, or do you think it'll be the same 11?
The thing is, I still don't know Farker fully. Is he a trickster in his presses or not? I don't know. I don't think he is. I think he's quite honest. And he said the stuff about Gray. So I imagine he'll start, unless he's just tricking everyone and he's going to play Alien or Shackleton. I don't know. But I imagine it'll be the same. Going on Stoke, I think with our better players, I think we'll work for Kamara in there. Very technical player, potentially. Ampadu needs to step up, to the level that, he was before the game. He wasn't terrible against Norwich. He wasn't at his 8, 9 out of 10 that he usually is. He's more of a 7, and we need him to just have that little bit more. I think about it. I think it'd be the same. I don't think Nant will start yet. I think he's a good option to have again off the bench. Yeah. Your mate Dan James. Do
you know what though? Like I can't complain, can I, bro? Can I? It's got to.
You know what? I agree with what you say about him, but he is frustrating. I think everyone knows that. Farke's probably on the sideline. Oh, James. But he got that goal, and I put in the chat, I went, he's all right, little him. Because we're saying about him, all these things. And then he just goes and does that because he's just really quick and direct. And that happens. And in the second half, when he went really good.
Someone said, yeah, but James is the only player in our squad that had got to that ball. And I'm like, you do realise he was the one that kicked it towards the line. It weren't like something he chased down. He was the one that nearly took it out of fecking play. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. With his touch. But,
it's what it is, isn't it? But he's getting the numbers, and Farke will be happy with that. And I actually thought second half when he went on the left, I thought it was quite good. Him and some combination play, I thought it was quite good. And that shot nearly went in. Good save from the goalkeeper.
When he went near post, it was really good. Yeah,
it's just really fast. He worries to slow himself down sometimes.
Yeah. His brain's not quite at the speed his legs are. Do you know what I mean? But,
yeah.
I don't. The only change I'd have made would have been at right back, but listening to Farke's comments, I don't think he makes that change, and that's fine. If he, like you said, if the medical team and everyone thinks he's fit and ready to go, then he's fit and ready to go.
And if he's not, and he looks slow, and he's we can put hands up.
We can certainly make the change if needs be, for sure. Do you know what I forgot to do actually as well, Rocky? I forgot to check our predictor.
I said 3-1, did I? God.
I can't remember. I don't think anyone predicted 3-2. That's for sure.
Nah.
That definitely.
Somerville first goal as well. Unbelievable.
Yeah, and now, are we allowing? Because it was an own goal, are we going to move it on to the second scorer, or?
I mean,
I mean,
I shouldn't have a vote in that, otherwise I'd be getting points. So that's down to the chat, I think. I mean, he was technically our first goal scorer.
Yeah. I'm going to put OG. I don't want you to... You're already leading, mate. You're already leading. So, yeah, just on last time out, obviously, I went 2-1 Pirro. Lockie went 3-1 Somerville. Andrea went 2-1 Norwich, by the way.
This guy, man.
Where is it? And the guests went 2-1 Leeds with Rutter. So the actual result was Leeds 3-2 OG. Lockie's leading with 9. I'm on 7. Andrea's on 7. And the guest is on 6 now. Look, before we go to score predictions and stuff, it's just I've just reminded myself. Stoke haven't had a clean sheet in 11 games, mate. 11 consecutive competitive games, they haven't kept a clean sheet. So you'd imagine that's going to continue tomorrow because Leeds are scoring goals for fun.
It bloody better. It bloody better after that. Honestly, now we won't. I can't speak. We always create chances, don't we? We always create chances. Let's just be clinical. Let's just get a few goals.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Yeah. We have to be clinical, mate. I know James has just said Bournemouth fans calling for Marsh. It's mental. I've just seen the Leeds that tweet. And I don't know if that's actually James. It might be James from Leeds. That probably not, but yeah. It's mental. It's mental that they're doing that. But yeah, listen, more power to them. He's absolutely wank. Honestly, he's so bad. And I hate him. I do. Like I would, you know, like sometimes you're like, oh, he's a tit or whatever. Like, say for example, I was never a fan of Ashley Cole.
Yeah.
If I seen Ashley Cole, I'd probably still get a picture because it's Ashley Cole and he's an England best ever left back we've ever had kind of vibe, potentially. But with Jesse Marsh, I wouldn't even give him the time of day. Do you know what I mean? Be like, wanker. I'd probably do the same with Cole, actually. It's a bad because I don't like him or Terry. So
what about Beckham? You know.
Well, I like Beckham, mate. I'm not going to say that. I actually like Beckham. I do. Yeah. I like
Beckham for England, obviously.
Yeah. Good guy. He's just a good guy as well, isn't he? But yeah, definitely. So no changes, mate. Stoke like to concede goals for fun. The 20th in the league, although I think that's a false position. Do you think we win the game?
Yeah, surely. Yeah. We have to. I keep saying this every week, if we're serious, we've got to win this. I don't care if it... At this point now, I've seen enough of the team that
Leicester win it, don't they? Leicester win.
Like, you know what I mean? I know I've seen enough of our team that I know we can put a brilliant performance in. It's now at the point every week where I'm not really bothered if we put a brilliant performance in every week because I know we can do it. So I'm not concerned about that. So if sometimes we did it with Bielsa's teams, we played some beautiful stuff. But at times, we just grinded out 1-0, 2-1 wins. Yeah. And if that's what you need sometimes, that's a championship, you do it. So let's just win it.
Yeah. No, I agree. No Name says 20th in the league at a pole position. It is, bro. I think. A
lot of injuries.
As the manager of Leeds United also said. So if you don't want to take my word for it, take Daniel Farke's word for it. But basically, they got 5 players back after the international break and won the next game. So I think if they have them players fit for the rest of the season, then they're probably not in the position they are. So put that in your pipe and smoke it. No Name. I think we win, mate, and I actually think we keep a clean sheet as well. I'm not overly concerned. Like you mentioned, they don't score a lot of goals, but they concede a lot. I do think it'll be pretty cagey early doors. Hopefully we can keep them out in that first 10 minutes. Let's get through 10 minutes without conceding, because that seems to be a common theme at the minute. And if we do, I think just our attacking prowess over the course of 90 minutes it's just too much for the majority of teams, I think. I do think it's too much for the majority of teams. Let's have some score predictions, bro, and goal scorers, and I'll put these in. Folks in the chat, make sure you get yours and your first goal scorer. I need to get Andrea's as well.
So I'm going on the logic that Somerville last year, I think he got 5 in 5 on his streak. He's a bit of a streaky goal scorer, isn't he? I think it's going to be a little Somerville 2-0. Somerville first goal scorer, 2-0.
Nice, I like it. I'm going 2-0 as well, to be fair. Let's have a look.
Byron like it.
I'm going to go 2-0.
I
don't know.
So many goal scorers, isn't it? Could be any.
There's too
horrible.
I'm going to go rogue. I'm going to go Strouk.
Oh, I like it.
I'm going to go
What,
Strouk.
one of them corners where he don't edit, he lets it drop down. And
It's on the floor. Yeah, it's on the floor.
Back heels it.
You cannot head a ball for toffee. I'll go with no name as well, because he said he respects my opinion, so I felt sorry for calling him out afterwards. So we'll go Leeds 3-1.
Having that blocky, you look knackered. Cheers, Michael.
Yeah, and he's gone.
I am, mate.
He's gone Ampadu. That's a bold shout, and we'll get Andreas at some point as well. So let me just save them in our tracker. So that's that done. So we've both gone for a 2-0 win. I think I'll be very surprised if we don't win this game. Like you said, for me at the minute, I go into every game believing we can win. The only one I'm nervous about is Leicester on the horizon. That's one where I'm like, I think we'll win, but I would also think we could lose. Do you know what I mean?
I just want to see, just go there and just give them a game. You know, when we were in that horrible run under Bielsa, one of the rare ones within the Championship, and we played Brentford. Remember that Ayling interview after the Forest game? Yeah. We played Brentford. We didn't win. We drew, didn't we?
Got a point.
We battered him, and we were like, okay, we can.
We only conceded as well because Kiko Casilla fucking lost the ball. I think Watkins, or it might have been Ben Rama or Watkins. But
so that type of thing. Let's just compete and see what happens.
Yeah,
you know, because against Southampton, we just didn't compete in that game, did we? We were off it. Let's compete with them. Because they can be got at on the count. We saw that today against Sunderland. They can be got at, definitely.
Yeah. And results tonight have meant Leeds United have stayed in third. Obviously, we're only 6 points behind Ipswich now. I know they've got a game in hand, but I'd sooner have points on the board than games to play. Because we know how busy the Championship is. They're going to have to squeeze that Rotherham game in somewhere. So that's going to be difficult for Ipswich later down the line. Ipswich have got Bristol City tomorrow as well, which Bristol City are decent. They're all right. Like, as Championship team goes, we've played them. I don't think they're that bad. One of the better sides we've come up against, I think, mate, and they're away at Bristol City. So hopefully Ipswich lose. We win and we cut the gap to 3. And the thing is, and people say Ipswich won't be caught, etc. Remember, we've got to play Ipswich at Elland Road. Leicester have to play Ipswich as well. Another good side. So, we'll be all right. I've said with chest that Leeds United will get promoted. I said it after the Watford game. And the bookmarks are there on that tweet. And, you know, when we got beat by Southampton, I was like, why did I tweet that? But then when we won at the weekend, I retweeted it again. I was like, fucking have that.
Hey, run now, mate. Run with it. Run 3 in a row. You know what it is as well, Jack? This is just, it's creeping up. January, we'll make 1 or 2 in January, I think.
Yeah, of course we will. Yeah.
Maybe even loans, but I'll take that.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, I think we will do as well, mate. I won't mind it. I think, do we get a left back for you?
I'd imagine, yeah. I think a left back and just a midfielder, maybe a 10.
I'd love to say a 10, but
maybe just like a creative attacker, yeah.
Yeah, different option to Roller, I guess. Yeah, you're right. Or maybe, you're creative. Right. Don't have to start, do they? It's just an option to have off the bench in it. That's the thing. Yeah, exactly. Listen, we've all gone for Leeds United wins. I think we're all expecting a Leeds United win. It's on Sky tomorrow at 8 o'clock. I'll be live from 7 o'clock doing a watch along. If you want some more stuff on Stoke, go check out Lockie's preview. I've also done a preview yesterday, if you want to check that out. Me and Joe had a chat late last night about Somerville and Strouk and their redemption arcs that they're on. So check out that if you want. And I'll see you tomorrow. I don't know if Lockie will be about, but he's probably busy. He's fucking busy.
I don't have to be able to watch it, mate, at this point.
Oh, really? There you go.
If I'm here, I'll let you know and I'll be about.
Yeah, no worries, brother. I know you will. Listen, folks, please subscribe. We're getting so close to 25k. I always get loads. I think we might hit it tomorrow on the watch along. Fingers crossed. But yeah, smash a like, subscribe. Make sure you check everyone else out, and we'll see you tomorrow. Peace out, folks. Have a nice evening.